OpenAI is finding themselves in a little bit of a pickle because, in case you weren't aware, yes, ChatGPT is still very popular. It's kind of what kicked off this whole AI bubble I still very much believe we're in. But despite all of that viral success with ChatGPT, the company is still losing billions upon billions of dollars. And from what I can tell, there's not a super clear path on how to turn it around. Scam Altman is still pursuing ways of trying to figure out how to get every man, woman, and child to subscribe to ChatGPT Plus for the low price of $20 a month, thinking that if we just make a chatbot that is just so infinitely helpful and useful and can answer any question you think of, everyone will happily pay 20, 50, $100 a month, because how could you live your life without a little personal assistant in your pocket telling you what to do all the time? But the subscriptions aren't where they need to be. They're definitely not covering the costs of the infrastructure required to remain competitive with their chatbot. Other companies have different revenue streams, like Google is of course still a search company, an ads company. They're making a lot of money through other things to funnel their AI developments, and in my opinion, Anthropic is probably the AI company that's figured out the best revenue practice, just looking at it as a software specifically for businesses, because businesses looking for ways to cut costs and optimize efficiency, they're more likely to spend big money on capable software. But OpenAI is kind of in this rut where it's like, okay, we're trying to explore more of the business side of things, but also trying to cater ourselves more towards the individual and trying to be looked at as more of a consumer mainstream brand. But at the same time, they're poaching so many former Apple employees, and allegedly, according to this lawsuit that Apple is now attacking them with, encouraging them to bring over work laptops and have trade secrets on there. And this is just after they finished their lawsuit with Elon, which unsurprisingly didn't really go anywhere because it sounded like Elon was in the process of abandoning the company and then later got mad that it got big. There's a lot to unpack here, but the main thing I wanted to cover on this channel, because we talk more, I think, about hardware than just software, is that OpenAI is actively pursuing hardware projects to try to appeal to the masses and maybe turn the company around, try to help justify their valuation, which I think is kind of crazy, and maybe have a glimpse, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that is profitability. But the funny thing about it is I think it's not going to work out. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. We've seen so many AI product companies fumble and die. And sure, OpenAI probably has a lot more funding than the other ones, like the Rabbit R1 or the Humane AI Pin. So while they might be able to hire Johnny Ive to help with these projects, I still think it's likely going to be a very major crack in the foundation of the company that changes the perception around the brand. So we know they've been hiring a lot of hardware engineers lately, and some of the reports are saying they're working on a companion-like device, sound familiar? It's basically a smart speaker with a camera. I don't really get this obsession AI companies have with eliminating the display. I guess it's because everyone's trying to figure out what's going to replace the smartphone. In my opinion, it might be nothing, at least in our lifetimes. The smartphone is just so absurdly practical. The screen you can type on without having to articulate anything. I don't think people like, having to explain themselves to chatbots as much as these AI companies do. They always act like, oh, it's simple. You just tell it what you want. It's like, sometimes I'm in a public place, or sometimes I don't want everybody hearing what I want to do. And the screen, I'm sorry, is just very helpful at just me looking up things, browsing things, communicating with other people without having to speak out loud. Not to mention the cameras on our phones, like the one I'm using right now, very helpful for capturing the moment, and that screen on the back helps me frame that moment and know what the lighting conditions are of that moment I'm taking. But no, apparently OpenAI wants us to carry around this little smart speaker lantern, I guess, that can see what you're doing and help walk you through it. I don't know, I'm trying to think of the weird examples that they're gonna cook up with this, like, oh, say you're working on something, or you're looking in the fridge and you want to figure out like what ingredients are there, what meals can I prepare. So you're just supposed to carry this little smart speaker around. It's gonna look in the fridge and tell you what you can make. Or maybe you're working on a car and you just hold the camera up to the engine and it tells you what the problems are and how to walk you through it. But I don't know, I feel like part of the thing people really love about ChatGPT is that it's on their phone and they can scroll back and easily read through the messages like at their own pace and the steps that it tells you to a walkthrough if you're using it to assist you in some way, shape, or form. So I really hope that idea ends up getting scrapped because everything I've read about it just sounds stupid. I would much rather them just make a cameraless smart speaker that sounds good and has Bluetooth connectivity, unlike my stupid HomePod. And then it just so happens to be powered by ChatGPT and you can talk to it and it's better contextually at understanding previous conversations. I think that would be a much better start than just saying, here's a battery-powered device with a camera that's going to be looking at you all the time. Already people, I think, are having pushback about that. So just making a cameraless device. Let's start with microphones because people already seem to buy smart speakers. And ChatGPT is definitely better than the Siri that is on our HomePods, which actually isn't getting the new AI update. Funny how Apple just completely glossed over that, but that's where the other part of the reports come in, which is that OpenAI is actually working on their own phone, which in my opinion has a far greater chance of success, but still not a very good one. I would give the camera-based portable smart speaker idea like a less than 1% chance of that taking off. But I'd say the smartphone, might be like a 5% chance. Still not great, but smartphone industry is particularly difficult to break into. We just saw OnePlus is leaving, but it's likely for good reason. They weren't selling all that terribly well, and it's very quickly, at least in the US, turning into a duopoly where it's basically just comes down to, you want a Samsung phone or do you want an iPhone, or I guess a Pixel, a triopoly? There's not a lot of room for like many major players. You occasionally have your niche brands like a Nothing phone or, a Fairphone or a Light phone or something like that. But for the most part, everybody's just buying iPhones because they like all the ecosystem advantages. And then you have one or two options if you want an Android phone. Now, if OpenAI is wanting to develop their own because they feel like that's how most people are accessing ChatGPT, but they're limited by the permissions and the confines of the operating system they're available on, then they're gonna have to do a little bit more than just an Android phone, I'm guessing. Because if they don't have any inherent advantages to getting a OpenAI phone versus a Google Pixel or a Samsung Galaxy, then you would just buy those. They're much more well established. They already have supply chains in place that can buy a much bigger bulk orders than OpenAI can because they're kind of the new kid on the block. So the dilemma I see with that phone is that they are likely going to have to build up their own operating system to a certain extent in order to truly unlock more capabilities with ChatGPT that you can't already access on an Android phone. And anytime you're building a new OS from scratch, and again, it sounds like the humane AI pin story all over again, you're trying to come up with functions that don't require you to download apps anymore. And that's probably going to be their whole shtick with the first OpenAI phone. It sounds way too close to iPhone. They got to think of a better name than that. GPT phone? Is that weird? Yeah. But similar story with the Rabbit R1 as well. They're all trying to come up with ways for you to just use a virtual assistant to bypass apps entirely. So you just tell it to hail you an Uber, or you just tell it to buy concert tickets, and it just already knows all this information about you and it fills in the gaps. I think it'll be pretty gimmicky, but I don't think the smartphone is going away. I think it's just infinitely so practical, and there's just not a good form factor to replace it. There are form factors to help enhance it. Smartwatches are helpful. Smart glasses I can also see enhancing it but not replacing it, and we know they've been working on some hardware with Johnny Ive for a while. I do think it would be quite funny if it ended up just being another smartphone, like Johnny just has to design a second phone. I don't know how different you can make it, especially now because all smartphones are starting to blur together in terms of design. You got to put the cameras in the top right corner because you want the magnetic ring on the back. You have super thin bezels all the way around the edges. So yeah, their best bet at making a phone is basically just going to be coming up with their own custom operating system, and that's always an uphill battle because we've seen it attempted many times by much bigger companies. Microsoft tried with the Windows Phone, and a lot of people genuinely liked it. Like the Windows Store and Windows Mobile, while it was lacking a lot of third-party apps people wanted, it was still not bad. It was well laid out, and they tried their best to build out an infrastructure for it. Couldn't do it though. Obviously, it's all gone now, and same story with Amazon and the Fire Phone. Geez, think of a company that has more resources than Amazon, and yet they were still not able to get a dedicated OS and smartphone launched. So we've seen it fail so many times, but we always have kind of an interesting chapter in history after the fact, and that's why I kind of want to see them do it. It's the same reason I wanted Tesla to release a phone. There was like talk of them doing that, the X phone, because Elon was getting fed up with the App Store requirements on Google and Apple's end. So everyone was like, why doesn't Tesla or X just make their own phone? It'll have Starlink. Yeah, that'll make it super unique. Like, I don't think it would be good, but I think it would be fun to watch them try, because in my opinion, in the tech space in particular, a lot of startups and a lot of companies that aren't in the smartphone game tend to think of Apple as not that creative or original, or, oh, they didn't really come up with anything that special or unique. They were just in the right place at the right time. Smartphones are really easy to make, and everybody always acts like, well, we could do our own phone. We could build out our own OS that would compete with the iPhone. So give us lots of investment money, because Apple didn't really cook up anything that special. And I always love it when they have that narrative, because when all these other companies try to come in and compete with the iPhone or the Pixel or Galaxy phones, all very great now, they're always splashed in the face with a hard dose of reality of like, oh, this was actually way more challenging than we thought. You know, most people don't think of these little rectangles in our pockets as that complex, and they just act like, oh, these are mostly, you know, fashion companies that just slap their logo on a design. But no, seriously, try to make your own phone. Try to make your own OS. You'll discover that what Apple, Google, and Samsung are cooking up every year, while it may not seem that unique or special compared to, I don't know, brand new electric cars or rockets or large language models, those are kind of the newer technologies that are more complex and stuff. They realize that it's like kind of an underappreciated art to the outside viewer. There's a lot of work that goes into making the iPhone and its animations and its software reliable, consistent, and comfortable, and there's a lot of loyalty that has to be built up over years and years and years that Apple's done a very great job keeping people relaxed and comfortable coming back every year, even with all their complaints. Y'all know how much I complain about Apple and the iPhone, but none of it has made me want to switch away anytime soon. And I just really struggle to imagine a company, especially one like OpenAI, which has all this negative press around it as is, winning over that trust and winning over that brand loyalty with something like a smartphone or a smartwatch, or I don't know, do we need another necklace telling us what to do with our lives? What do you guys think is going to happen with OpenAI? Clearly, they just can't keep burning billions and billions forever, right? Can they? I don't know. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you on the next one.